When shall the jump down come for you?
Welcome back, Santa Clarita Valley. We're here on your Neighborhood Watch on the hometown station, KHTS AM 1220. We're here with Deputy Josh Dubin in the studio, my special guest, with your news director, Perry Smith, yours truly. And we have Sergeant Ron Olford on the phone with the CPU, the Crime Prevention Unit of the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station. Can you hear us, Sergeant?
Yeah, I can. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for letting us give you a call. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the what your duties are with the Sheriff Station. I believe you're with you're a Crime Prevention Unit Sergeant, right?
That's correct. I'm one of the sergeants overseeing the Crime Prevention Unit, and aside from that, I have several other duties, including overseeing the reserve program and the off-road enforcement team and a few other things.
And tell me a little bit about the off-road enforcement team. We talked about that a while ago. We did a story about that on hometownstation.com, and just about where you guys patrol and some things you need to know for riding, right? That's essentially what the off-road enforcement team does.
Yeah, we have to actually do quite a few things besides that. But we've had this team since about 2001, and really it was created to respond to hundreds of complaints that we were getting every year about illegal off-road riding, about trespassing, noise and dust issues, quality of life. And since then, we started out where we were writing probably 500 tickets a year. And we were responding to complaints in neighborhoods. We were responding to complaints from environmentalists about activity in the riverbeds, which are protected. The Santa Clara River is protected, not just a wash, as a lot of people think. And
right.
And so we started out kind of with that mission in mind. And since then, the team has really been effective in combating those problems. And so now our complaints are way down, and our mission has kind of morphed into a number of different areas. In fact, aside from enforcing laws that pertain to off-road vehicles, we're also enforcing, trespassing, damage to property, and lots of times we're out there enforcing quality of life issues, like people smoking marijuana and drinking beer on bike paths and things like that.
And I remember the last time we spoke, one of the things you had talked about as far as the missions was to kind of change that culture of the understanding where you can ride and where you can't ride, right?
That's correct. A lot of people out here have grown up out here, and they kind of got into this mode where they just rode wherever they wanted, and back then, in the 70s and 80s, it really didn't matter that much. Nobody really, there wasn't a lot of complaints, and since the Santa Clarita has grown so incredibly, the neighborhoods are creeping into the hills and basically the forest land, and really there's only a couple of legal places to ride anymore, and that's Rower Flats, which is run by the National Forest Service, and then which also encompasses Drinkwater Flats and a few other areas that are up San Francisco and Sierra Highway, and then further north there's the Hungry Valley Recreation Area, which is run by the state.
So any other time you're riding on a motorbike or anything like that, it's an off-road vehicle, so if you're on the road, it's considered an illegal ride, right?
Yeah, if it's not registered for the street, it's illegal to ride on the street, that's for sure.
And what are some of the other duties? You've been with the Sheriff's Department for 30 years now?
30 years, yes.
So where were you before you came to the Santa Clarita Valley Station?
I've been here for 13 years now, and before that I had a couple of assignments in custody, and I worked at Temple Sheriff Station out in San Gabriel Valley.
Oh, okay. So was your first assignment kind of, because I know the off-road team is about 13 years old, you'd mentioned. Was that one of the first things you had taken over, or did you gradually get into that later on?
Yeah, I was in the program early on. I've been running the team for about 4 years now.
Oh, okay. And outside of riding, what are some of the other, you'd mentioned Paseo and trail enforcement, or?
Yeah, we're out there. We do get complaints. There are places in Santa Clarita where people are riding their bikes and they're having to see people drinking alcohol on bike paths, and people are, there's other sort of illegal activity going on, whether it's smoking marijuana or using other narcotics, and people oftentimes will use the bike paths and the riverbeds as avenues to conduct illegal activity, whether it's gang activity or narcotics or thefts. And so we do spend a lot of time. People see us out on the bike path sometimes out in canyon country, and we've written a lot of citations out there for illegal drinking on the bike path, for narcotics. There was one time in particular where I was working near Santa Clarita Street and Soledad, and I went towards the riverbed, and I saw this man walking towards the riverbed, and he was bleeding profusely from his arms, and he had cut himself with box cutters and was going out to the river to die.
Oh, geez.
He had attempted a suicide. So, if the team hadn't been there, we called for paramedics and got him some help. So, you never know what you're going to run into when you're out there on motorcycles. It could be just about anything.
And that's something that you guys train for. There's a pretty rigorous program, I understand, as far as getting ready for the off-road unit itself, right?
Yeah, we have the department has an 80-hour training program, and it's post-certified, certified by the state of California, and it is a very rigorous course. The failure rate is probably 50 to 60%. So our deputies that are on the off-road team, not only do they have to know how to ride off-road, but they have to complete the same basic course of training that the regular motorcycle officers do.
Oh, wow. I want to talk to you a little bit more about that. Sergeant Olford, if I could have you stay on for our next segment and just ask you a couple more questions, if you don't mind.
Sure.
All right, we'll be right back. We've got to take a quick commercial break on your hometown station, KHTS AM 1220.